Hi, I'm James, the box office artist, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Artist. And I got another fantastic interview for you today. I have one of the hottest artists working in comic books today. His name is Jason Fabok. Jason Fabok, I've been following him for the past couple years, and he has been killing it in DC, one of their main superstar artists right now, and I believe he is going to be working on Suicide Squad versus Justice League. What a title to be working on. I think all of us want to be at that pinnacle, you know? We had Greg Capullo a couple of weeks ago, now a guy at the caliber of Jason Fabok. So the question is, how do you get there? This is a guy in his prime, young guy, you know, at pretty much at the top right now, and he has an exclusive with DC. Like I told you before, I wasn't too familiar with how exclusivity works, and he explained it to me and how that works and how he got to where he is today, things he learned along the way, and his story, I believe, can help each and every one of us, especially those of us who want to break into comic books and to be at that level of a Greg Capullo or a Jason Fabok. So I also want to thank my good buddy Dave, because he was friends of his. Dave was a co-worker of mine at a company called Pixamundo, and he came up to me and he asked me, "Hey, do you know Jason Fabok? I went to school with him." And I'm like, "You went to school with Jason Fabok?" And I thought that was awesome. Also helped me score this interview with Jason, so thank you to my man Jason, and you are going to learn a lot from him. So enough talking from me. Let's talk to the master. Let us talk to Jason Fabok. Hi, I'm with my friend. Are we friends? No,
yeah,
sure, we are friends. Sure. We are friends. I'm here with my friend Jason Fabok. Fabok, amazing artist, illustrator. He works for DC Comics. Jason, how are you today?
I'm great. Doing very well. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Now, Jason, I know that you have had an extensive career in professional comic books. Why don't you let our viewers know what are you currently working on right now and what projects you have in the pipeline?
Well, recently I just finished up a really long run on Justice League, and that project really burnt me out. I was working like crazy hours on that thing, and so Jeff Johns and we were working on that book. We finished that up, and over the summer I just kind of took a break. I took a nice summer vacation for the last couple of months, and it was really just to kind of recharge my batteries and spend time with family and all that kind of stuff. So actually, the DC just announced I'm going to be doing a new mini-series, Justice League versus Suicide Squad, with writer Joshua Williamson. And an interesting fact about that is we both actually broke in on the same exact book into the industry, 5-6 years ago. So it'll be really cool to work with him on that book. And then I got a bunch of other stuff kind of going on in the background, but those things aren't being ready to really be announced just yet. But I can tease that there's a really big project I'm going to be doing next year, hopefully, and I'm really excited for that one.
And we're excited to see what that project is for sure, because a lot of my viewers, they are aspiring artists. Can you please tell us about your work history, when you broke in, what titles you've worked on?
Yeah. I broke in around 2010, I think, and what I did, I kind of have an odd way that I broke into the industry, and that was I was working with artist David Finch, who readers probably know from Marvel and DC, and he lives in my hometown, and so I sent my portfolio to him just to see if he could give me a couple pointers, and that turned into like a 6-month boot camp of comic books. I would go to his house every other day, and he would show me kind of, we're going to draw heads today. We're going to draw hands and feet. And then he would really critique me big time. And I would go home and I would rework everything. And 6 months later, he sent my portfolio into DC, and I was able to get a job. And so I started off doing 2 fill-in issues, Superman, Batman issue 70 and 71. And then I was not used to the workload of what a DC comic, what they expect out of you doing a book so short time. I just couldn't handle it. So I ended up taking myself out of the game, and I went and I worked for Aspen Comics, a smaller publisher, but they were willing to give me the time to experiment and grow and kind of figure out how to draw a comic book in a month and the whole process of working on something like that. And so after doing that for a couple months, I was able to go back to DC. I've worked on Batman the Dark Knight. I've worked on Detective Comics, and I did Batman Eternal, and Justice League was the last big thing that I've done, and a couple other issues here and there. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to be able to work on some really cool titles, really big characters, and with really good writers and collaborators.
Wow, that's what a way to break in, for sure. Especially that's fantastic for David Finch to bring you on pretty much as an apprentice.
Yeah,
Is that correct? So would you do, like, be doing backgrounds for him or anything like that? Or
that was the idea, but at that time he was working at Marvel, and he was nearing the end of his contract. He was just doing a bunch of covers, and then he made a move over to DC, and he wasn't working, again, he was working on covers, so he didn't need a background assist. And so that's why he was just like, hey, I think your stuff is good enough, let's send it in and let's see what happens. You know, you can't hurt.
how did tell me, how did you develop that portfolio that you guys sent to Marvel? Like, how did you work? Like, what was your work schedule like? Did you have a job at the time? You know, how did you arrange your schedule, and what did you put into your portfolio to send to DC?
At that time I wasn't working. For that 6 months I kind of just sucked it up. I moved in with my mom again, and I just focused 100% of my day on my comic book portfolio. I know a lot of people can't do that, but you know, I don't know. It was my dream, and I just felt like I needed to go for it, and I was able to do that. I was fortunate in that respect. As for the portfolio, Dave came up with a little Batman story, and I literally submitted 6 pages. They were just all story pages. It was a little Batman story where there was there was a family, a man, a woman, and a child, and they were driving their car through Gotham, and they get mugged, and the car gets stolen, and the baby's in the back seat, and Batman comes in and he rescues the baby, and then he ends up chasing down these criminals and catches them. It was a very simple story, but the one important thing that it did was it showed I could draw a city, cars, a family of normal people, a child, a superhero, some villains, and there was a scene with like some trees in it, so I could do a little bit of foliage. But it kind of captured that whole thing without any words. It was just all, and that's what they're looking for in a portfolio. They want to see that you can draw everything, because you're going to be thrown everything. You know, the only thing I probably didn't draw on that was the animals, you know, but I feel all my other things were strong enough. I didn't need to show that aspect of it. But yeah, like, you know, a lot of times I think fans think they need to hand in like tons and tons and tons of work to see, like, show all these, you know, covers and pinups, and they're looking for story. They want it. The most jobs are in stories. Unless you are an unbelievable painter and can do incredible covers, they usually aren't going to just hire you for covers. They want to hire you to do interior pages. So you need to come up with a little story that's simple and that shows all of that. And then as I worked on that story, I think I probably put a little bit more time into it than I would normally have done. I spent like maybe 3 or 4 days per page, but I wanted to make sure it was the best I could possibly do. And but the only thing is, they expect you to do a page a day, so that's what was shocking when I got in the industry. It's like, uh-oh, now I got to draw a page a day, and that was the real shocker. But yeah, that would be my advice for a portfolio.
That's fantastic advice, for sure. Can you let our viewers know, because a lot of them haven't worked for a company like DC, what is it like to actually be, like, what is your day-to-day like, and what's it like working with a company like DC in comic books?
Yeah, my day-to-day, I mean, I work every day. Sometimes I work most weekends. I mean, you have 4 weeks, most of the time you have 4 weeks to draw a 22-page book. So you got to pretty much do 5 pages a week and then find time to do 2 extra pages, and probably a cover or 2 in there. And so you're working, you know, steady every single day, and you have to have the discipline to work, you know, 8 in the morning till 6, 7 at night sometimes, and do that on weekends and vacation days, holidays. You know, it takes a lot of sacrifice on your behalf and on your family's behalf too. You can't just get up and go wherever you want. You know, the deadline is important, and there's no wiggle room on the deadline. You're usually working a month ahead of the book actually coming out. So if you screw up, it's going to ruin the whole assembly line. And so there's a lot of responsibility on you. But as I worked through the industry, and as I've done this for quite a few years, you get used to that, and you're able to balance those things, and you get quicker, and you find, okay, now I can take this weekend off, but I know I'm going to have to crunch later on, and that kind of a thing. I kind of have a weird work thing where what I do is I start a page. Let's say I start a page around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll work on it till about 6. And then the next morning, I'll finish up that page by doing some of the harder panels in the morning when I have the most energy. I'll finish that page. Then around after lunch, I'll start a new one. And I'll do a couple of the easier panels that I know I can whip out. Then the next morning, I get up, I have my energy again and my creativity back. I'll do the harder ones. And that's how I work. So I kind of work on 2 separate pages in one day, but I'm finishing one and then I start another. And that I found that just works for me, and it allows me to focus in the morning, and then I can kind of phone it in a little bit more in the afternoon when I'm tired, So, yeah.
Okay, great. So just a couple more questions. So first of all, I know for people who just get into the industry, sometimes a publisher will give them the one book and then they're looking for work after that and while they're working on the same book and all that. But you're in a situation, you're under contract, is that correct?
Yes.
So how does that in particular work? Does DC provide, they say we're going to provide you this many issues? How does that work, the exclusive deal?
Yeah, every exclusive is a little bit different from what I've heard, but for my contract usually consists, they give you, we're going to guarantee you this certain amount of books every year, and if you want to work that in there, I can say, well, I want to do so many covers per year. You come up with your page rates and a term. So I've been signing 2-year terms at a time. I could go more if I really wanted to, but I find the 2-year term allows me to work for 2 years and then renegotiate. I have no plans to leave DC anytime soon, but that kind of a term would allow an artist to maybe, hey, I want to go do a creator-owned book at Image, or I want to work for Marvel. You can jump around and do things like that. But that's, for me, that's been the standard, for the last couple of years, 2-year terms at a time. And, that's, there's not really much magic to it. I can't work for any other companies unless DC gives me permission to do so. But that's the standard, I guess, term. But I've heard that there's different ones for. Sometimes the contract might be for issues, you have to do 25 issues over 2 years. Yeah, I don't know, and so that might be a different kind of contract. But every company's different.
What would be your advice for them to break in today? How do they contact editors? How would they use social media? What would your advice be to them?
Yeah, with today, the internet, there's a lot of opportunities for everybody around the world. DC and Marvel are hiring people from the Philippines and Brazil and Canada and the United States. It's a worldwide game now. My suggestion would be for these kinds of things is sending your portfolio out to everybody. Don't be picky. Don't shoot for DC. I was very blessed to have that opportunity to get my first job with DC, but that was also because Dave Finch vouched for me. He knew I could handle the workload. He knew what kind of a person I was. And so I had that unique opportunity. But for most people, it's, hey, I'm going to, I don't know, send your books out to Aspen and to Dark Horse and to some of the smaller publishers who might be willing to take a chance on you and work. You're going to have to work your way through the trenches. It's you're going to find the job is going to be very unforgiving for a while, and you're really working hard on things you might not have a lot of passion for. But if you treat every project like it's something special and precious, they'll be able to see that. And the editors that work for those smaller companies usually have connections with the bigger companies, and the bigger companies will ask those editors, what kind of a person is he? How hard does he work? Does he agree with? Is he agreeable? Does he fight you on things? You want to just pretty much say, yes, I'll do it, and just keep rolling and work hard for whoever you're working hard for. Be humble. That's another thing. Stay humble. Ask editors for the opportunity to critique your work. see what they can tell you. You know, I still do that. I still ask my editors, can you critique my work? What can I do better? And they'll tell you, and then that helps you become a better artist and rise up quicker throughout the ranks. So yeah, send your stuff through. You know, sending stuff to comic artists through the internet, I get a lot of people doing that, but it's hard to critique that kind of stuff over the internet, and it's hard to like put the time into really giving a good critique. But the companies that are looking to hire people for jobs, you know, if you ask them honestly, like, please give me a good critique of what I need to work on, they might be harsh with you, but if you can take that, you need to learn how to take that criticism, but then turn it around and work on those things. It'll make you a stronger artist in the end. And hopefully that'll lead to a career in comic books.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jason. That was amazing. I'm sure that helped all of my viewers for sure. Where can my viewers follow you on social media?
Well, I'm on Twitter, and I got a Facebook fan page thing. Just look up my name on there. And I also have a blog. So if you look me up, jasonfabok.blogspot.com. You can contact me on there, and I haven't updated in a little while. I've been kind of bad with that, but I usually like to post, you know, my process of how I've worked through pages from pencil sketch to inks to color. So, you know, I hope, and I do that for young aspiring artists to see, like, kind of what I'm going through, and hopefully help them to, you know, to make their dream come true as well.
Thank you so much, Jason. We look forward to everything you have in store, especially Justice League versus Suicide Squad. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to my man Jason Fabok, another one of my new best friends, for spending a few minutes with me. And he told me that he really enjoyed the video, and he would like to also help you guys out no matter, like, however he can. So please do follow him on social media. I'll put the links to his social media down below. And what a great guy, what a great interview, and we could learn a lot from his career. I know the future is so bright for him. He is going to be one of those legendary artists, I can tell for sure. So thank you again to my man Jason, and good luck to everything he has going on in the future. So excited for Justice League versus Suicide Squad, or is it the other way around? Whatever it is, so excited for that. And thank you guys also for letting me do these interviews. You know, the response has been fantastic. You've been so good to these creators. In fact, if you saw an interview that you liked, please do message the creator. Tell them how much you liked listening to their interview with me. Now, it won't be just comic book artists, okay guys? I'll tell you that right now. I'm doing my best to also get some concept artists, and I also have like a very special artist who is a master at Patreon. So I think her story will be fantastic. I will have that coming up in the next few weeks as well. But thank you guys for following along, and anyone you think I should interview, please do let me know. Who do you think I could interview as well? Please let me know below. In fact, please message them. Let them know, hey, the box office artist, I want him to interview you. Please tweet them, let them know. And anything that stood out to you with this particular interview with Jason Fabok, I'd like to know that as well. Please do let me know in the comments below. If you like this interview, please hit that thumbs up button. And please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for all the support. Really means a lot to me. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, @BoxOfficeArtist. Please also draw with me live. I'm always on there, but pretty much almost every night on Facebook Live. So check me out there, Facebook.com/TheBoxOfficeArtist. Check me out there. And my name is James. I'm the Box Office Artist. Keep drawing, and I will see all of you tomorrow.